Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Mess. So, taking a fun and exciting episode for you guys today, because I'm going to be taking a look at and demonstrating a work-in-progress alpha PC port of Silent Hill based upon the Silent Hill decompilation project. Because as it stands, Silent Hill is 99.88% decompiled, leaving 0.12% left until this thing hits 100% decompilation status. And if that isn't some big decomp energy, I don't know what it is. And just so you know, you do not need a 100% decompiled project to start working on a PC port. Sure, you want as many percent as you can possibly get, but that remaining 0.12% clearly isn't 100% essential. But I want you to go into this with very clear expectations. This is a work in progress. It is very alpha. You can kind of tour around the world of Silent Hill, but it isn't going to be something you sit down at your PC and play from start to finish. Before we get too far involved though, do me a huge favor, go down below, hit like and subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined and want to support the channel, I got a Patreon link down below as well. But what you're seeing right now is the alpha PC port of Silent Hill. Now before you ask, is this the official port of the decomp? The reality is there is no such thing as an official PC port. Once this game is 100% decompiled, you might see 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 different people or groups take on these PC ports the same way we see it on N64. There's like 5 different PC ports of Super Mario 64 at this point in time, and 2 different ports and recomps of something like Star Fox. So do be aware that there isn't one project that might see the finish line before others actually jump in. But honestly, even though this is not 100% buttoned up, even seeing Silent Hill, the original run as a PC executable, is 100% just a highly entertaining thing. And if you know me and you know the channel, I love to say, I love to know how the sausage gets made, for lack of a better term. That is to say, a lot of time, the process of how you actually get a perfect PC port is more interesting to me than the actual PC port at the end of the production. But running around here, seeing the world of Silent Hill in 16:9, looking pretty close to what it should look like, that is definitely impressive. And if you can't tell already, the camera is not 100% complete. You can actually push the 2 button on the number pad to switch around to different camera angles, but obviously this is a lot higher than you would expect to see in an actual game of Silent Hill. But I know you guys have been very excited to hear about any sort of PC port news of Silent Hill, and this was definitely one I was excited to see get released basically over the Easter weekend. And if you did celebrate, hope you had a great holiday, and leave me a comment down below and tell me what you ate. But as we get into the alley here, you're going to see suddenly one camera angle completely just goes into this skybox with a little bit of snow falling down. That's not how it's supposed to look, but again, this is still a work in progress. Now moving over to actual Silent Hill footage off of PlayStation 1, this is what it should look like. And again, I don't want you to think I'm knocking this port. This is always how it starts at the beginning. And just so you know, this is by somebody named KushAstronaut over on the actual PlayStation 1 decompilation Discord server. And if you do want to test this thing out, I did leave a link in the description below so you can grab the alpha version and play around with it yourself. But again, be aware, there really isn't a ton of content here so far. It is just kind of a work in progress test demo, a proof of concept that this can actually work out. And that really is the exciting thing, because obviously decomps, recomps, and PC ports are really having a moment in 2026. I have at least 1 if not 2 videos per week talking about a new decomp that's almost done, a new static recomp, or a new PC port. And I do not expect that to slow down in any way, shape, or form this year. I think it's just going to keep heating up more and more. But now that you obviously know what the alley looks like, if somehow you've never played the game, this again is what you're going to interact with here unless you change the camera angle around. Obviously, a 3D camera is a tricky thing to deal with, and even though Silent Hill was mostly kind of that locked-off camera aesthetic, in outdoor areas you had more motion, and you would have a camera that could be fixed but pivot left and right. That clearly is not exactly working the way it should in this alpha port, but again, we're not expecting it to do it that way. This is always what I love to see in developments, how things work and how they break. But you can obviously tell this is the world of Silent Hill. The graphics look relatively correct and everything else has the same vibe, but of course in a higher resolution. And it does have audio as well. I'll give you a soundtrack sample in a moment so you can hear what it sounds like. But even if this thing, again, is just kind of a test build, I am still highly impressed that this works whatsoever. But here's that audio and I'll be right back with more. I mean, honestly, it sounds really relatively close to what Silent Hill should sound like, but you let me comment down below and you tell me what you hear. And speaking of what you hear, if I sound slightly off today, that is because one of our friends at Easter dinner definitely brought a cold over. I woke up this morning and definitely did not feel as good as when I fell asleep. But these things happen. I'm going to keep making videos and talking about amazing new PC port potential out there. And that, again, is the reality of this. This is all just potential. It's not one of those things where you're going to expect one master PC port based upon a decomp project, and that really is a good thing because there's going to be different developers, different groups out there that have a different philosophy as to what they might want to do with Silent Hill. And if you didn't notice, the aspect ratio went from ultra widescreen, 16:9, and now 4:3, because this will draw in whatever your native panel actual aspect ratio is. For me, I use two ultra wide monitors for editing, so that's why I had that ultra wide there, and then I basically cropped it down within the window to close to 16:9 and then to 4:3 as it natively launches. So that really would be a fun thing in a potential PC port of Silent Hill, being able to play in widescreen and then obviously ultra wide, because on DuckStation some of the widescreen elements will actually cause the game to freeze in later stages. You have to switch it to 4:3 and then back to 16:9. And don't get me wrong, that's not a knock against DuckStation. I think it does an incredible job, but there is only so much you can push a game like Silent Hill with enhancements until something is going to crash or freeze on you later on in the game. And that's definitely something that could be remedied with a PC port. But it will be really interesting to see how this kind of evolves, because I know of another PC port that is being worked on, but there's really no footage yet to actually show of that. So something I'll just mention in the video. I'm sure you'll see a bunch of mods come into different versions. You may end up one version that just tries to go straight one-to-one with the actual PlayStation 1 original, just with graphical enhancements, and you may end up with other ports that try to push Silent Hill even further than what it actually is. And again, in previous videos, I talked about the fact I know Bloober Team is working on a remake of this one, but it's one of those things, once you actually have a remake with new voice actors and everything else, the overall vibe of what Silent Hill 1 is going to change. Maybe it'll be for the better, maybe it'll be for the worse, but I can guarantee you it'll be for the different, which is to say it won't be the exact experience that we fell in love with when this game truly first came out. And that is the thing. Silent Hill 1 is absolutely a Hall of Fame first ballot game. And I do love here you can change up the camera and kind of swing it through all the environment, including getting it to actually black screen out and go to some of the textures. And this again is why I love these sort of development looks, these vertical slices of potential PC ports. They really show how things are made, because here earlier when the screen would go to the skybox, if you actually change the camera to this third person walking mode, you can see a lot more of what's going on. But do be aware that once you get to the end of this alley and open the gate, this alpha port is going to crash, so that's about as far as you can go right now. But even getting this booting, executing, and looking and sounding like Silent Hill is impressive. Speaking of sound, that is my lazy segue to the second soundtrack sample. I'll be right back. I mean, honestly, the soundtracks always had kind of this like machine aesthetic horror, and having all of the even weirder broken camera angles here kind of drives that horror home. And if you want to just run into the ether, into the skybox, see if you can find anything, you can totally do that too. But just be aware this is something, I don't know if it'll be done next week, next month, or next year. It'll definitely be a when it's done sort of situation, so have no expectations. That way you can't be disappointed. But obviously I like to say this is why retro gaming is making a comeback. We're in a new golden era when it comes to all of this retro stuff, whether it's decomps, recomps, PC ports, or otherwise. And this is definitely going to continue into 2026, and I know there is a lot of fun stuff on the horizon. But if there was ever a game that deserved a really good PC port, it would be the original Silent Hill, because basically it's one of those games, if you played it back in the day, you realized how special it was, and if you never played it before, I can't recommend it enough. It is just one of those games that absolutely sticks with you, and hopefully sometime in the future we'll have a perfect PC port of the original Silent Hill. But short of that, we're done. Links down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.